Someone talks down to you. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's someone at a gathering who doesn't know you that well. The comment lands with a little edge on it, dismissive, slightly condescending, said like it's casual, and before you've even processed it, you're already defending yourself. You're explaining, you're clarifying, you're offering context they didn't ask for. And somewhere in the back of your mind, while your mouth is still moving, you feel it. That slight sinking feeling that something just went wrong. Not because of what they said, because of what you just did. That's the part nobody talks about. Not the rude comment, the response. Because most of the time, rudeness doesn't beat you. You hand the other person the win by how you receive it. Here's what's actually happening when someone speaks to you dismissively in front of other people, or takes that sharp, slightly superior tone with you in a room. They're not making an observation. They're running a test, a simple one. They throw out a little disrespect and watch what you do with it. Do you tighten up? Do you stumble? Do you rush to make yourself look okay? Do you get louder or quieter in that nervous way where everyone can tell you've been rattled? That's what they're looking for. Not a response to their words, a response to the pressure. And most people fail this without knowing there was even a test. The common move, the one you've probably done, the one almost everyone does, is to immediately try to fix the dynamic. Someone implies you don't know what you're talking about, and you instantly start proving that you do. Someone's tone suggests you're beneath them, and you subtly change your posture, your pacing, your whole register to earn their approval back. You didn't mean to. It happened in maybe 2 seconds, but the room saw it. And more importantly, the person who said it felt it. They shook you. And now they know that. That's the actual damage, not their words. Your visible reaction to their words. There's a mechanic here worth understanding. When someone is rude to you in a social setting, in front of colleagues, in a group, even one-on-one, there's an awkwardness that gets created. Someone has to carry it. The rude person created it, but they're comfortable with it. What they're testing is whether you'll pick it up, whether you'll start frantically managing it, whether your need to smooth things over or restore your image will make you absorb all the discomfort they produced. And when you over-explain, when you laugh nervously, when you try extra hard to seem okay, you just took the bag they were holding out. Think about a coworker who says something dismissive about your work in a meeting. Not a full attack, just a tone, a small implication. The wrong move is to immediately justify yourself, over-detail your reasoning, bring in extra supporting points they never asked for. All of that says one thing clearly. You're destabilized. You've already let the comment define the next 2 minutes of how you present yourself. The room isn't tracking the logic of your explanation. They're tracking your composure. What they're actually reading is, does this person still seem steady, or did that comment move them? Now, here's the part people miss. The rude person, in a lot of cases, is not actually confident. They're testing you because they're not sure how much status they have relative to you. The dismissal is a probe. They want to see if they can place themselves above you in the room by making you scramble. If you scramble, they have their answer. If you don't, they recalibrate. That's why a calm, brief response does more than any clever comeback you could have rehearsed. When someone talks down to you and you respond with something short and steady, not cold, not dramatic, just settled, you've just done the one thing they didn't expect. You didn't give them proof. The interaction has nowhere to go. They can escalate or they can back off. But either way, you've maintained the one thing that actually matters in that moment. Your composure looks intact. You can say something direct without turning it into a confrontation. That was a little unnecessary. Calm, honest, not aggressive. You're not chasing them. You're not absorbing it. You're just naming it once and moving on. Or you say nothing and let the silence sit with them instead of you. That last part matters because silence after a rude comment is extremely uncomfortable for whoever speaks next. If you respond immediately and nervously, you filled that silence with anxious energy. If you let it sit for a beat, it stays with them. You've seen this happen. Someone takes a cheap shot, and the other person doesn't take the bait, doesn't laugh it off, doesn't get defensive, just pauses and continues normally. Watch the room. Watch the person who made the comment. That stillness reads as confidence in a way that almost nothing else does. The mistake isn't having emotions about it. That's human. The mistake is making your emotions immediately visible and accessible to the person who just tried to shake you. There's a difference between content and intent. The content of a rude comment might be something about your competence, your choices, your appearance, whatever. But the intent is almost never about that. The intent is to see whether you'll start carrying their frame, whether you'll let their version of the moment be the one that sticks. When you over-explain or get visibly rattled, you're agreeing to their frame. You're treating their assessment of you as something that requires your energy to correct. It doesn't. Not in that moment. Not in public. Not in a way that costs you your steadiness. Because you can address someone's behavior without performing a reaction for them. If that was supposed to help, it missed. Brief, clear, then move on. You've said something. You haven't escalated it, and you haven't absorbed it. That's the whole target.
The dynamic changes, often quickly, when rude people don't get the thing they came for. They came for visible impact, for the slightly off-balance version of you. When that doesn't show up, the interaction loses its energy. People tend to drift toward easier targets, or drop the behavior entirely without a confrontation ever happening. That's not suppression. That's composure. Those are different things. Suppression is swallowing it and walking away resentful. Composure is not being controlled by it in the first place. One costs you something. The other protects something. What you stop doing is offering visible distress as a reward. You stop over-explaining. You stop laughing when nothing was funny. You stop trying to prove your worth in real time to someone who was never really asking. You don't need to win the moment. You need to stay yours during it. And most of the time, that's what the person across from you was actually trying to take.